All right, so we've got the hammer strength chest supported low, what we call plate loaded low row. Now, one of the unique aspects of this is essentially the direction of pull that we've really got here. It's very much of an upward sort of motion with that kind of chest support here as well. Now, I'm going to get Charlie to do this bilaterally, and then we're going to move on to the single-sided unilateral variation. Now, what's quite unique about this is if we just get Charlie to do 1 or 2 reps, is we don't really, there's not really a clear bias that you can really observe when he's doing this here. It's kind of somewhere near the lat plane, it's somewhere towards the rear delts. But if you actually look at the plane of motion, this kind of upward pull, there also happens to be quite a bit of mid-back, upper back, but also a bit of upper traps in there. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. These guys have got to be trained as well. So we would usually just program this as a bit of an overall kind of mid and upper back movement, as well as getting that little bit of residual lats and rear delts in there as well. So get Charlie to go through 1 or 2 more reps. So all we're focusing on here is allowing a bit of natural protraction in that bottom position. So you'll see he's just slightly flexed at the T-spine. He then comes into a bit of thoracic extension, focuses on driving those elbows back in a natural arm path. He's not forcing the elbows in or forcing them out. He's just allowing that upper arm to travel in that natural path of motion for his structure. Next thing as well is he's got that little bit of extension with that retraction of the scapula as well. And towards end range, we're not trying to limit the upper traps, we're allowing those upper traps to elevate towards end range, so we get a little bit of that upper trap stimulus as well. Now, a couple of things that we're going to see done wrongly is we're going to see this excessive lean away coming off the chest pad. We're going to see a lot of that hyperextension through the lumbar spine. We're also going to see where he kind of tugs at the movement, almost like the weight becomes somewhat, it's not going to be quite weightless at one point, but it's just a ton of momentum going in there, and that's really not what we're after here. Now, with that said, in terms of the profile of this, it is very congruent with a slightly faster concentric. We just don't want to force it. So what he's going to do, or what we'll cue, is we'll cue just a slightly slower start to the pull, but then as he kind of gets into the movement, he can kind of speed up into that end range there as well. Now, of course, as fatigue accumulates, he can then start to move a little bit quicker from the start. So just 2 more good reps, Charlie. So again, chest stays against the pad. He focuses almost on this kind of thoracolumbar area as a bit of a pivot point for the T-spine to extend. Scaps come together and slightly elevate, targeting the lats, mid-back, rear delts, and a little bit of upper traps as well.